we derail ourselves from our aligned path and we make unwise choices and silly mistakes. Being happy doesn't mean you have an easy life. It's a choice to get up every day and say, I'm going to do something that brings me joy. The body remembers more. And if you're not healing and letting go, you're going to be ill. I always say to people that worry about getting older, that's a privilege denied to so many people. Go and seize every single day and do something to bring more joy to yourself.
Thanks for tuning into the Vibrant Soul Society. I'm your host, Baba Sam, the Miracle Man, and I'm very excited for today's conversation. We have a vibrant soul with us today, Lucy. So, Lucy, welcome to the conversations.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be joining you today.
Yeah, I'm excited to dive in as well. So, just to kick off here tonight, who is Lucy?
I am Lucy. I am a evidential psychic medium. I have been connected to spirit as for as long as I can remember. I've been seeing, hearing, feeling, and embracing the role that they play in my life. And I'm also a Reiki master, a Syria angelic Reiki master, a trance medium. I'm a tutor, so anyone looking to develop mediumship, I do one-to-one sessions. I'm also a mum of 2 girls and I run my own busy business.
So, was there anything particular that linked you to spirit, or were they always there from what you remember?
To be honest, I was quite a traumatized child of spirit. I didn't enjoy seeing them in my room. I didn't enjoy being woken up by them. I didn't enjoy being scared by them. And they've always been there. I've always been able to sense them, hear them, see them, smell them. All the clairs were going when I was a child. And it was quite disturbing. And the kind of problem with that for me was I didn't recognize anyone in spirit. So they were just strangers trying to get my attention. They were waking me up. And I've always had this awareness. But what changed for me was when loved ones started to pass, my grandparents started to pass, and then I could recognize them. And those people that I was scared of when I was younger were actually related to me. I just didn't know of them either. So I just not opened that line of communication.
How did your parents try to help you with anything that you're seeing? How are your parents responding?
My mom is a very intuitive being. She's so intuitive. She would be a phenomenal medium. She was scared herself. She'd had several experiences. She was scared herself. And back in the 80s, it was like, oh, if we just ignore it, it'll go away. Do you know, everything gets swept under the carpet. So I wasn't really developed. I wasn't encouraged. It was more, oh, it's a phase and she'll grow out of it. But I didn't. Here I am.
So your mom didn't have any intuitive gifts on why this was occurring, or was she not realizing that she was intuitive?
Oh, absolutely. She was just scared. She buried her head in the sand and was like, oh, maybe she'll close down, maybe it'll stop. We just ignore it and pretend it's not happening. I'm seeing people like I could feed with me and it just fell on deaf ears, unfortunately, but it was coming across as I was having nightmares and waking up in the night and just being scared. But yeah, it was quite disturbing. I feel like I had to go through that though. I don't look back on it now and think, oh, it was horrific. As an adult who's in control of my abilities, I look back and I've gone, wow, what a wasted opportunity.
Right. But so you had to develop those abilities. They were constantly there. Did you understand how to better control your abilities with time?
I have led quite a busy life. I've gone out and got life experience. I always said with spirit, I will work with you one day, but I want to just be me. I want to have the physical experience. And I always knew that I would go on to do this work. But I also wanted to gather my own experiences because spirit use what you're familiar with, what you've been through, what's in your awareness. And you need to have had a life and touched on certain experiences in order to harness those to help other people. So if I'd have not had any life experience, I don't think I'd be able to help people and relate to people as much as I do now, having been through what I've been through.
When you're going through like your high school years and through school, were the spirits helpful? How did that progress? Your evolution, your human evolution with this spiritual
Yeah.
interference?
I always knew I wasn't alone. I always asked for help. I always asked for support. I always turned to spirit in difficult times. I always got answers. I always kind of knew what I was needing to do, but I never fully surrendered to the guidance. I always thought I knew best, thought there was a better way. We all intuitively know what we should do, but we flip that switch of self-sabotage, don't we? We derail ourselves from our aligned path and we make unwise choices and silly mistakes. And that's all about soul growth as well, I believe.
Your mind was saying, I need to do it this way, but your guidance was going this way, but you listen
Yeah.
to your mind first, and we all do this.
I always think of like my guardian angel sitting on my shoulder and he's just rolling his eyes going, oh, here we go again.
Was there any particular incident where you saw, like, I got to stop listening to my mind so much and embrace the intuition?
Absolutely. And do you know, it was only, I'd probably say 5 or 6 years ago. And it's actually a ridiculous story. I was in an unhappy marriage. I wasn't happy at all. I was in a job that was soul destroying. I just wasn't happy in life. I remember being out on the walk with my dog and just stopping and making a point going, this is it. This change has to come. I need to make some changes. I'm not aligned with who I need to be. I'm not aligned with who I have around me. People have got to go. Things have got to shift. And I was like, right, this is your moment. I'm going to commit to you. And I took instruction from spirit. I did automatic writing and I took instruction every single day for a year. What do you want me to do? And it was the best year of my life. It was difficult, but it was the best year of my life. It was difficult because I left my husband. I left my job. I just flipped my life
Oh,
upside down and I committed to being authentically me. I just committed to myself and making these changes, however difficult they were. I knew I had to do it. And I set about doing that every single day. I created Cosmic Order, which is my business. I'm massively into my crystals. I opened up my crystal holistic supply business. I started doing readings and I didn't need to train to be a medium. It just flew, like all the messages were coming. But I did go on to train how to run a holistic business and do professional readings as a medium. I think everyone needs formal tutoring because when you're focusing on ethical mediumship, you need to understand how to work with people. It's okay working with spirit, but you need to understand how to work with humans, if that makes sense.
right. So it's fairly recent where your life got flipped upside down. I'm sure it's still a little surreal. How did this come to be?
Oh, it was meant to be. I love my life. I'm so happy. And I made these steps. And being happy doesn't mean you have an easy life. It's a choice to get up every day and say, I'm going to do something that brings me joy. Despite the negative, the hardships, I'm going to choose to see the positive in the day. And that's what I do every day.
Right. Like all we have is today. When people aren't aligned with their soul and aren't doing what they love, they're really fighting against their own wisdom, their
Oh,
own purpose.
it's so hard. I don't regret the life that I had because it enables me to help and touch so many people. We've all had ups and downs. We've all had the good, the bad, the ugly. It's about using that in order to help others heal. That's what brings me joy is being able to assist other people. You know, we all have an energetic footprint and the trauma that we go through just sits within the body. And illness is going to man about helping people before they get to that point for myself.
As part of this human journey, you had to go through this so you could better help others. If you were all spiritual all the time, you wouldn't have that contrast. You wouldn't have those challenges where you help people. Today, it's like, oh, okay, I understand what you're going through.
Every time you make communication with spirit and you're trying to deliver a message, spirit will use everything within your bank of knowledge. So if I know someone that's committed suicide, they will give me an image of that. They will tell me about that. They'll take me to a place that I'm aware of. And then I can identify with my client and allow spirit to use my bank of knowledge to really deliver the messages that they need to get through.
Well, that's an important point. If Spirit's trying to get this message, but you didn't have that experience, I don't know how
Mhm.
Spirit would communicate. It's like, this person needs to
Yeah,
know this, but you don't have this in your experience. So how do we
exactly.
communicate that?
And that's how you get your aligned clients as well, because, you know, I'm not going to attract clients that, oh, I don't know, that interest me in something that I have no knowledge of. But you just won't be aligned with me. And that's why I always believe there's enough to go around. There's a medium for everybody. You will find your person. I specialize in people that have a lot of trauma issues and have gone through a wide range of experiences. The more you work with people, the more you expand your bank of knowledge and the more you're able to assist as well. So yeah, you've got to go through it all. You've got to feel it, the good, the bad, the ugly. You got to sit with it.
But then you can come on the other side of it. You don't have to
Yeah.
stay there. That's where the issue has people, is that they just stay there. This is my life. This is what I'm dealt with. And I just have to
Yeah.
accept that.
Even on my worst day, I knew a better day would come. I never thought this is going to be it. I always knew I would work with my spirit team, and I knew I was going to make change.
Right. Because the change was coming. They just had to go through this journey a bit. But
Yeah,
that's an important point, that there is always hope out there. When I was dealing with chronic
absolutely.
illness, I never had that hope because I was locked into 3D. But these are the medicines you take, these are the doctors you see, and you read all the literature, and there was like, this is it. There's no hope, there's no cure. But then I tell people the cure is within you.
Absolutely. I am a firm believer modern medicine is amazing. We have it for a reason, but we can't just ignore the spiritual healing that needs to take place.
Right. This spiritual healing. Now, let's dive into the spiritual healing, because the way I see spirit, that spirit is whole and complete. It's this body that needs the healing. So it's really, when you think about spiritual healing, is allowing the spirit to create the pathway forward. Are you seeing it differently?
And the way I see it is more energetic healing. So all the emotional trauma within the body to bring yourself back into alignment. So when I'm looking at somebody that needs healing, whether I'm working with Reiki or trans spiritual healing, so I allow my healing team to have a good blend with me and deliver the healing direct. So it's coming from that beautiful universal consciousness. And it's just enveloping someone and moving and making those shifts of energy that need to take place. So that those energetic footprints. And we never forget what we've been through, but the body remembers more. And if you're not healing and letting go, you're going to be ill.
Hmm. That's an important point, letting go. Sometimes we get
Yeah.
into these stories and they're serving us in some way, but we need to let them go.
No one's going to erase what you've been through, but accepting what you've been through and choosing not to hold on to it and stay stagnant in that time is massive. We need to move forward as much as we can.
So how do you help people move forward, to say, I'm stuck right now? What's the first step to get them moving forward?
For me, when I'm doing my healing sessions, it's about letting the energy go where it's needed. And I always say to my clients, well, I can't create magic in one session. You have to commit to your spiritual health. And when you flood that body with that beautiful healing energy, if there is anything there ready to release, I will remove it. I will get rid of that. So it's allowing that beautiful energy just to flow through its body and just gently remove anything that's holding you back, all this stagnant energy that the body's holding on to.
Yeah, something that I witness, I'm just curious if you witness as well. If somebody's in a really high level of pain, of distress, I can get it down pretty low, but I know the next day there's a good chance the mind will bring it back.
Mhm. Absolutely. And what I would say as well is during these healing sessions, and you can really focus and quieten the mind. I always say, as an aftercare, these thoughts are going to come flooding back, right? You need to do work between sessions. You need to choose, what do I need to action? What do I need to let go of? What do I need to write down? We've got to stop thinking our mind has to hold everything, always on repeat, trying to use your mind like a diary. It's got to get out of there. The peace that comes with having a clear mind, I can't describe that to people. My mind's not busy. Half the time I struggle to retain information because I channel that much. And I just can't imagine being weighed down with all these troubles.
Yeah, because it really does weigh you down, these burdens that we
Right.
carry on. And it's good that you also have this issue I have too, is there's so much information come through. I get it out there, then I look at it like, oh, okay, I guess I said that. And It's just
Yeah, absolutely. And when I'm working with clients, it's not my information to retain. The more I remove myself and allow spirit to blend, the more the direct communication is coming. And I don't need to be present for that. Once, as soon as someone leaves, 30 minutes later, I won't remember what I've been saying.
right. Even 5 minutes later, if you're giving a
Yeah.
lot of information, it's like you have to go back and listen to that. I don't remember exactly
Yeah.
what came through.
It's like when people stop you, they go, "Do you remember when you said?" And I'm like, "No, I don't remember seeing you." And obviously, there's no offense there, but when you work with so many clients, what I love is that they took what was said on board and they took the information that was needed. And it obviously meant so much to them that they really wanted to share that. So I always love hearing, "Oh, you said this and this." And it resonated so much, it touched their soul. Like that for me is magic.
Right. That's why I wrote my first book called I Don't Dwell, because I'm not hanging in that space,
I love that.
because we just got to let go. But that's easier said than done. My mind is also very clear, and it's hard to describe to people that peace that you feel, that you just trust, you know that all is well. Everything's working out in your favor, even when it doesn't seem this way.
We've all survived 100% of our worst days. You wake up the next day and you get the opportunity to start afresh. There may be financial issues, emotional issues, health issues, work issues, whatever you're going through. Choose to do something that sets you up for tomorrow. So if you're procrastinating, if you're putting something off, if you're not making change, get on and do something that's going to propel you forward, that's going to leave you better than you were yesterday. Tiny steps, but we've got to keep moving.
That's the important thing. Keep moving. Even the smallest step makes a big difference, especially if it's a small step in a new direction.
Absolutely. It doesn't need to be massive. People thinking, "Oh, I know my life needs to change. I don't know where to start." And then they go home and it's cluttered. Clear out. Just keep moving. Even if you just tidy a room in your house and you think, "Oh, that's not going to enhance my life." Making small changes is massive. So if you're putting off a job at home, get it done. We've got to get these things done and out of the way because all these tiny little things are weighing on our mind.
And what was coming to me, because I know you work with crystals, one of the smallest things they can not even think of is like picking up a small crystal and they think nothing of it. Yet it creates a change within them. Could you dive a little bit more into those crystals? 'Cause I don't think people really know much about them.
Absolutely. And I always say, don't disregard the humble tumble stones, the little ones that you keep on you. Crystals have their own frequency that they vibrate at and they connect to energy centers within the body. And now they're stable, whereas we fluctuate all the time. They've got a stable frequency, which means they're able to connect with that energy center and really draw out any stagnant energy and enhance our life so much as well. If you're really going through it at the moment and it's heartache, you want to get some like basic rose quartz in your pocket. You've got the master healer, which is clear quartz. That's going to work through all those energy centers and really try and bring some balance and try and bring you back to a stable state, a stable frequency. It's just bringing that calm to you as well. I love them.
I never thought of that as crystals being a stable frequency holder. That is really good. What got your interest in crystals? Was this intuition again, or what drew you
Yeah.
there?
It was the energy. I'm just like a magnet when I was a kid. It just pulled me in. It's like when you see kids in sweet shops and their eyes light up. I'm like, crystals. It was just the frequency. I found comfort in them. I never felt alone when I had the little pocket rocket on me. Like going into a job interview or something, like just pick intuitively on the day. I felt like I had support. I just never felt alone.
I don't carry a crystal, but I have a piece of sandalwood on me. The frequency of the sandalwood feels really grounding to me. Like
Yeah.
if I'm not wearing it, I feel floaty. It's really interesting.
I'm such a ground person. I don't struggle with grounding, but I have daily practices for my own spiritual health. I quite like being grounded.
We just have to keep
Yeah,
ourselves grounded and rooted here in this moment.
absolutely.
But that is the challenge, to stay present, to stay here in this moment,
Yeah.
to have that human experience. So when you're dealing with, let's give you this hypothetical. I'm really curious. When I was dealing with MS and all these heavy ailments, Where do you start with somebody like that? For me, I had to have a paranormal experience to shift me out of that space. When you get somebody that's really trapped into their humanness, their suffering, that there's no outside of them.
I tend to find people that are ready for change find me. And then through regular healing sessions, I don't claim to be a therapist, but kind of tuning into people and seeing where they're at and seeing what's weighing them down. I've seen amazing changes with people with their healing, and that can be through mediumship. Some people just need to be heard. They need their voice to be heard, and having that acknowledged, whether it's through loved ones or just spirit in general or their spirit team, and going, I know what you went through. I believe you. Some people just need to be heard. And that spirals this healing. It spirals the change. They can let go of it because they feel like they were stifled. They didn't have a voice. And then that can lead on to healing sessions. After every single session that they have, they're feeling better. There's going to be ups and downs. Healing isn't linear. You're going to take the rough with the smooth, but making a commitment to knowing you are not stuck where you are is massive.
Listening, it's just people just to be listened to so they can
Yeah.
release that stuck energy. Most people do not listen, they react. They don't hear them. That's why I do my best to keep myself grounded and present. I need to focus on what they're saying. I need to be here with them.
Absolutely. I'm always getting downloads. I wake up in the morning, I say good morning to my loved ones and my team. We're just so well connected now. They know when I'm working, they know when I want rest. We've got those boundaries in place. And it's beautiful, the lines of communication that I've got with them. I find with a lot of clients, a lot of the stifledness and not being able to have a voice, you find it with people that are particularly strict parents, or they went through some kind of childhood abuse and they weren't believed or listened to. You know, there's some deep rooted issues that we need to move past as well. If people are serious about their spiritual health and they want to find someone who you connect with, find someone who will listen to you, and find someone that you have this rapport with and that you trust. Not every healer, not every medium is for you, but go where your soul feels comfortable and make that connection and let someone help you.
Right. And the soul feeling comfortable, that may be a sense of happiness and ease. How would you describe that?
Do you know when you meet someone and you're probably like me, people will meet you and they'll just open up and they'll tell you their life story. They'll want to talk to you and tell you so much. But it's like you've met that person that's going to listen to you, and your body knows, your soul just knows you're in a safe space. You just feel so comfortable with that person. I have clients that have not had that rapport and I'm like, I don't really think I'm for you. And it's just like we're not gelling, and it's just having that honesty and having that connection with people. I feel like you know when you're in the presence of someone, you feel safe.
Yeah, that's a good avenue because I have a lot of people just open up to me. It's like, okay, where did this come from? Just help them through that and see it in a different way.
Sometimes it's not always a prayer. You could be out at a bar and you've got people that that want to tell you your life story that you've met in the toilets, and you're like, I just want to go back and have my meal and my drink. And you have to have healthy boundaries. You have to work and home time, because you can't be on the clock all the time. You have to switch off. You'll find that everyone just wants to kind of open up and stick a straw in you and get your energy.
Exactly. Do you find for some reason this was coming to me, so we'll just go there. I never saw like the New Jersey medium where she'll just walk up to people and just share information with them. I thought that was a little odd.
It's inappropriate, it's unethical, and it can be damaging. And I'm not here for that. Offering unsolicited advice is never acceptable. You don't know what someone is. And I've had it. I've been sat in a theatre and I've had this woman go, that's my husband in front telling him I'm here. I'm like, no. She's like, tell my husband I'm here. I'm like, no, it's not appropriate. I feel like if someone needs that advice, your loved ones in spirit will prompt you to go and seek that advice. It's not for me to go up to people in the street and start offering messages from spirit. It's not appropriate and it's not okay.
And I think you're right, it can be harmful. You don't know where they are mentally if they can actually handle that piece of advice.
The first thing I do in a reading is I blend with the client on a psychic level. So psychic is making a soul-to-soul connection with your sister, blending with their energy and really getting a feel for where they're at. And mediumship is inviting loved ones to come and blend with you and spirit beings and passing on messages from them. First thing I do in a reading is work psychically and evaluate the vulnerability of my client, my sister. There's a good 40% I don't pass on, good 40% of information. I've got a duty of care to the person that's booked in with me. I also serve spirit, but we have to manage the two.
I also find it too when I'm working with somebody, I have soul messages. Basically, I'm dropping down into making a
Yeah.
soul level connection, give a message from there. But sometimes we do have to filter. Are they ready for this? Can they
Yeah.
handle this information?
You could have a lady whose father's passed, she may have been abused as a child. Does she need to hear from that person? Is she okay to hear from that person? Has she healed enough to receive the information, whether it be an apology or an acknowledgement? We've got a duty of care to leave people better than when we found them.
Oh, that's so important. Because, yeah, there's the Long Island Medium. That was the name of the show. She would come up to people and bombard them, and I never thought that was right.
Shows with mediumship, we're not all going to sit here and pretend every session is phenomenal and amazing. You're seeing a small snippet of information that's been delivered. You're seeing the best bits. You're not seeing the whole story. We're interpreting energy. That's what mediums do. It's an energetic connection. Do I get everything bang on? That depends on whether the client can understand the information the way I may be receiving it. So no, and when you're seeing someone, you're going, oh, that's phenomenal. They're not like that 24/7 for every reading, and not a chance. We're human still, and we make mistakes. So you're seeing the best bits, not the bits in between.
Right. Because if you see people in a gallery or something live, you can see the unedited version of them. And it's like anything, it takes practice to tune in and to understand and feel into that energy.
I would take the TV shows with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, because it's not really that thing. But some mediums I saw just blew me away when I saw them in person. Like when I saw Thomas John, I never saw anybody like him before.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, because he was actually doing a play in New York City. And during like the 10, 15 minutes, he was just doing raw readings. And he was going around people's room, bang, 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 with all these details and information. I never saw anybody like that.
Wow. I think if you're going to see an evidential medium, you should expect evidence. You should be able to tell you what they look like, bring details, the relationship, how they pass. This is basic information. And then really allow them to tell their story and bring messages and guidance and comfort. But if you're booking a psychic, you're not guaranteed to hear from your loved ones because psychics are not mediums. And if you're booking an evidential medium, you should expect evidence.
Right. And he can feel specific details. Why is your father showing me a birthday cake? Why am I seeing your uncle's watch?
That's my style of mediumship. That's what I want. I don't like airy fairy made up stuff. I don't like generic stuff. It's not for me. I am my own biggest critic. So I always look for the finer details. I'm looking for dates and names, really specific information that's connecting the two of them so they can feel that presence in the room of their loved ones.
Right. They need that. You see some people live, you can see they're feeling, they're reaching for things, and this isn't right.
Absolutely. It's not acceptable.
It's not. You have to get that information, and it's not going to be on point all the time. I'll say, I'm seeing this image. I'm not sure exactly what it means.
Feel into it and go, I may have got this wrong, but I'm just going to tell you, this is what I'm getting, But no one's perfect, but be ethical with it.
I understand you're trying to make a living, but we need to be ethical about it. And I think that's what you're alluding to before with the training you received and how to do this in an ethical way.
I don't even think I struggle with the ethics because I care so much about people. A lot of my clients will be like, oh, you don't need money, you survive on dust. Because I actually turn down more work than I accept. If I don't feel it, I'm not doing it just to get that paycheck.
You're just not working with everyone. You're being selective. I'm just curious about now, you're talking about your two girls earlier. Are you seeing them as intuitive as well?
They They both could be. My eldest is not interested whatsoever. She supports what I do, but she's just not interested. My youngest I think she's gonna be a phenomenal psychic medium. We connect between ourselves. We have a lot of information go back and forth ourselves. She's actually overheard conversations I'm having with my loved ones in spirit. She's like, what was that lady saying? So she's kind of heard snippets from conversations as well. If they want to develop, I will always be there to help them. I neither discourage or encourage, but one thing I do make sure of is they're not interrupted like I was. They get their good sleep. They're not hounded by spirit. They're not distracted by them. And if ever they want to explore it more, I will help them with that.
I'm sure you're a great mom for them with that. Unlike when you're parenting, your mom didn't know what to do with you, but at least
Yeah.
you know exactly what to do because you lived it. You know how best to help them.
What actually drives them mad is like my eldest, she's like fitness freak. And she's like, guess how many steps I've done today? I'll be like, 13,200. And she'll just be like, I'm not playing this game with you anymore. She's like, you ruin every game. To anything where you've got a guess or anything like that. They're just, son, you ruin it. Don't work psychically.
So that's really interesting. Your youngest daughter, you can see that she has some potential and you working with her to develop that if she's interested or just keeping her safe.
She's only 8 years old at the moment. She doesn't really know what she wants to do. And I don't want to take her down a path that isn't for her. I want her to come to the conclusion herself. I want her to really think about what she wants to do. And she has an awareness. She's very connected. She's very intuitive. If she asks me questions about what I do, and I don't sugarcoat it, I do tell her. And then she goes, all right, I think I'll be a teacher. So she knows what I do, but she's then mulling over what she wants to do. But if further down the line when she's older and she's like, oh, I feel like I'm pulled in this direction. Oh my gosh, I tutor her straight away.
Right, because she's here too for the human experience, not just for the
Yeah,
spiritual experience.
exactly. It's not for everybody. This job's not for the faint-hearted. You're faced with a lot of trauma, having to connect with people that have lost children. It can be heartbreaking. You've really got to be in a good place yourself. If you've not done the work, the shadow work, the healing, anything that triggers you, you can't really work with spirit to the best of your ability because every time they bring something through that you've not healed from, it's a trigger. It's going to hurt. So you have to be committed to doing the work, clearing the rubbish that you've been through so that it no longer hurts and you can use that in a more positive manner.
Mm. Yes, I know we're always doing this clearing work. Do you still find triggers at time that's like, oh, I worked with a new client. They poked something I wasn't aware of.
Yeah, and I quite like it. I really like it because I can be working with someone and I'll go, whoa, that memory's stung a little bit. What do I need to let go of there? And I'll sit with it and I'll be like, do you know what? I forgive myself for behaving like that when I was a teen, or I forgive myself for reacting like that. So I'm continuously, no one's ever fully healed. It's not just a quick fix. You're working through things that you've suppressed for years. That back of the mind, it's like a mile long, isn't it? All these stuff you've forgotten about and shoved to the back of your mind. So yeah, I still get things crop up, but I like it now because I go, oh, I forgot about that. I can get rid of.
Right, because we have all these timelines that we're constantly tapping into that we're not even aware
Yeah.
of.
Absolutely. Do you find you're triggered with some things?
Well, not too much now. And for me, my healing was rather sudden. It was
Yeah.
rather abrupt. Because I just heard spirit. If you weren't familiar, my story is through meditation, I discovered I have thoughts, but I wasn't my thoughts. If I wasn't my thoughts, who am I?
Yeah.
So I was sitting the who am I question, and I just heard a voice say, perfect spirit. My spirit is perfect. It's simply the body and mind that are damaged. Then I just had a knowing that all is well. All sense of fear of my health was gone, and I knew it was over.
Amazing.
It was very quick for me.
I know when I started out professionally doing mediumship readings, I always used to say I want great communicators. I want really powerful, and I'm quite physical medium. So when people come and blend with me, I feel everything. I could have like 5 heart attacks in a day, a stroke, limb missing, and I'll know and I feel it. But I was like, and I want it to be really strong and I don't want to miss anything. And sometimes the energy, when I felt like I was on the facelift every time I connected with someone. I'm like, no, we need to set this down a notch. It's a bit too much. Like the energy is just too intense. So I'm a bit more subtle now with how I connect. But yeah, it just brings it. It's amazing.
I still haven't gone for that yet. I just connect with them and whatever they go through, I feel it. And I'm okay with it. I can deal with it.
What I love about, so I don't know if you know, I work on a one-to-one basis, so it's private clients midweek. But on a Saturday, I kind of open up my space so people can pop in, do some shopping, look at crystals. But most people find I'm not a shop. So you can have someone in front of you and I'll look at them and I'll be like, oh, you need this, this, and this. And then they go, how did you know that? So it's like doing a prescription, but they can choose the crystals to go with that as well. So I always say it's more than just the shop because I can see what's going on within the body and where they actually need to go for that healing. So that's what I love, people bobbing in and connecting on that level.
Yeah, that's really interesting because it is a frequency. What is the frequency that they need to neutralize what is
Yeah,
going on within the body?
exactly. So it's just being able to tune in with people, and especially when people are buying gifts for someone, they're like, oh, I don't know what they want. And you can just kind of follow that energetic link and tune in, go, I think they might need this. And then you get the confirmation that they loved it. It's like, it's just perfect for them. So it's so nice.
Yeah, we forget that we're all interconnected, that there's no time and space. So
Yeah.
if they know the person, then there's a link there, then you can tune into that.
Yeah. And everyone you come across forms part of your energetics. I feel like it's a sphere and we've got all the bubbles inside it. And everyone that crosses paths with you, you're all connected in some way. And it's just phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
that there's no mistakes, that there's
yeah,
alignment for reasons that we don't understand.
absolutely.
Like no one's crossing your path by mistake.
No, I don't believe that either. We're all exactly where we need to be.
Yeah, exactly. So if people wanted to reach out, we didn't really talk too much about your shop, your Cosmic Order. So how'd that come to be, your Cosmic Order shop?
So I didn't just start out as like Lucy Jane Medium or anything like that. I was like, I want it to be bigger. The name Cosmic Order was just perfect for me because, I'm all about positivity and the law of attraction and being in that positive mindset. So I was like, right, my business is called Cosmic Order. If people want to work with me, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. I'm sure you've got the link somewhere. So you can work with me one-to-one for a reading, one-to-one tuition. I can do Reiki over Zoom as well. There's loads of ways. It's all on there. I do classes, master classes, workshops, tons of things. So you can just click on my link and book a session with me.
I thought Cosmic Order was brilliant because the cosmic is an order in ways that we
Yeah.
don't understand.
If I'm being honest with you, so with the Cosmic Order, I got to hide behind the name for a little bit whilst I was finding my feet. It wasn't just me. And I always remember Spirit saying to me, I was like, oh, so how do I grow my business? They went, you need to show the world you. And I went, oh, but I like how to be on Cosmic Order. And they went, no, the world needs to see you. And that day I posted a picture of me and I did an introduction and I was like, the world, I'm here. And it just went boom, 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 boom. It just went massive. And I was like, all right, I've done what you said. I stopped hiding, but I still love the name Cosmic Order. I just love it.
Yeah, it's a perfect name. And we have to realize people buy from individuals. They don't really buy brands per se. They buy
Yeah,
the individual behind it.
absolutely. I've done an introduction now and people can see me. I feel like they can feel my personality in every post that I do as well. I hope that comes across.
Yeah, it comes across that you get it, you understand, that,
Oh,
that you can connect with them on that energetic level, that it's not a mind thing. There's a lot of people that are still operating from the level of the mind. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not a coach. I'm not going to chase thoughts with more thoughts. I'm going to get down to the energetic level and see.
do you find like me, you just cannot tolerate surface level conversations anymore? Like, ugh, it's just draining. Like, give me more.
Right. It's just a story. It doesn't have to be your truth.
Yeah. We've got to go deeper. We've got to really be doing the work now. Even when you meet new people, you have to just go that much deeper and stop having these superficial conversations. It doesn't interest me anymore. If you're not bringing more depth, if you're not showing me who you are, it doesn't matter.
We're here to really dive into who we are. We can get caught into the waves of life, the ups and downs of life, but we need to dive deep, understand who we are, and embrace that and bring that into the world.
We've got to move past the materialistic and the aesthetic
Right.
kind of
That's
plays that.
that's why I created the Vibrant Soul Society, because we are vibrant souls. We forget, we get so caught up in our humanity.
We do. It's such a shame.
But if we're
But
spirits,
we can fix it.
yeah, we're here to smile, to enjoy life, because spirit is enjoying this experience. It's living this human experience.
And it's so short an experience. You know, I always say to people that worry about getting older, that's a privilege denied to so many people. Go and seize every single day and do something to bring more joy to yourself.
It's all about finding that joy, that happiness. That's an indication that you're aligning to who you really are. We forget that life is short. We've all known somebody that's been full of life, full of expression, but they're not here the next day. We've all experienced that. Here one day, gone the next, because we forget that we're fragile. Life is short.
Absolutely.
I think we're running out of time here today. So thank you, Lucy. I'll put all your contact information here, how people can reach out to you, how they can step into their own light, their own brilliance, and get some clarity into their life that we can live a better life.
Oh, it's been amazing. Thank you for having me on.